What's going on, everybody? This is Jeremy here, owner of Patch. We are a digital marketing agency where we help make physical therapy clinics and cash-based clinics get new patients easier. So we do everything from CRM management to running Google Ads to creating email marketing campaigns. And what I want to go over today, I think, is a really important topic, something that I think a lot of clinic owners struggle with, and that is sending out a weekly newsletter. Um, I think just the task of creating a weekly newsletter seems very daunting for most people, and I want to show how easy it can be if you have all of the right tools in place. Ideally, I know I do through Patch. I send a Friday newsletter out. It takes me about 15 minutes to write that newsletter, and it's something that I'm able to stay consistent with. I can provide value with it, and a lot of people really like it, and I think you can do the same thing with your weekly newsletter as well, and not be annoying, clogging people's inbox up. I think there's a lot of really good strategies here that we can do in order to continue to provide value, stay top of mind with people, and eventually get people to come in for physical therapy. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a newsletter in under 15 minutes. I'm going to show you guys how I do that. I'm going to build one live for you. Um, the idea and the reason why you need to stay consistent with your email marketing, it's the biggest thing is you're trying to stay top of mind with your email list. Your email list is one of the most valuable things that you can have. These are going to be all the leads that you collected at local events, current patients, past patients, lost patients. All of these people are going to be, this is really the only place where you have all of these people on one list. So if you stay top of mind with all of those groups, that's going to be really important for if and when they actually do throw their back out or they get injured at some point. The other important part with this stuff is that this really tees up your bigger sales promotions and what you have in the future. If you're thinking about, say it's August 19th, if you're thinking about running an open enrollment in October or November, I know it's really popular in the cash-based world, and you haven't sent a newsletter out in the last 2, 3, 4 months, and then you go to sell open enrollment, people are going to they're not going to love that, to be totally honest with you. They're going to feel sold to, and that's the only reason you're reaching out to them. And if you haven't provided value to them in a really long time, then it's going to be really hard to sell as many of those open enrollments as possible. So getting into actually making this newsletter again, we're trying to do this in under 15 minutes. The way that you're able to do this in under 15 minutes is that if you have all of these things already taken care of. So we've got a block email template. If you're watching this and you have a HubSpot account, message me and I'm happy to give you mine. You'll also, if you guys have downloaded the cash conversion script, which I'll put the link for that in the description of this video. You'll have that template there as well. There's just a Google Doc where you can copy all of those elements and put them into whatever email provider that you're using. We've also got a swipe file. So what a swipe file is, you can see here I have my Ripple swipe because I'm going to create this as if I'm doing one for my physical therapy clinic, Ripple. A swipe file is just a lot of just all the articles, posts, podcasts, any content that you've digested in the last couple weeks that you found was interesting, you create a swipe file for these. So what this is just have a bookmark bar here. These are all the interesting things that I kind of ran across in the last couple weeks. And I can refer back to those things when I go to write my newsletter. So if I listen to a really good Andrew Huberman podcast and I want to, tell my readers to listen to this podcast about Zone 2 training, that would go in what we call my swipe file. It's, just something as you're doing your daily scrolling, your daily education, all those things are going to be put inside of that swipe file. You're going to want to have something that's happening locally So maybe it's something that a community event that's going on. Maybe in Boston we've obviously got the Boston Marathon. Maybe there's a 10K event going up. Maybe there's something happening in the South End neighborhood that our clinic and we live in. Maybe there's a farmer's market going on or a new restaurant opened up. You want to, again, this will make a little bit more sense when we're actually putting that newsletter together. But having something to highlight just locally in the community not only breaks up like all of the health and wellness education stuff that you're doing, but just makes it a little bit more entertaining for the reader. I think that's really, really important to remember. And then any type of upcoming promotions that you have going on. Again, we've got Labor Day coming up here. Maybe you're doing some sort of Labor Day weekend sale. And then any type of upcoming events as well. So again, maybe you're have a table up at one of the fall races that are coming up. Maybe you have an injury screen at Orange Theory Fitness. You're doing a mobility and mimosas. You're doing a park workout. Just highlight what you have going on so that people will actually come and show up to these things. So hopefully this all makes sense. Let's dive right into it and start creating this email newsletter. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go inside of my HubSpot account. This is where I send all of my email newsletters from. And I'm going to create this regular email that I'm going to send out. You can see here I've got my block newsletter template. So I'm just going to go through here and utilize this. Again, if you guys have HubSpot and you want to utilize this, I'm more than happy to build this in your account for you. So as you guys have this, there you can see here, this is again, it's going to be a block newsletter setup is what we call it here. So you're kind of starting the top of the newsletter with a bit of a story. We're then going to dive into just part number 2, where we start to educate and entertain the reader. Okay, so what this is going to be is we're trying to educate. So what I usually like to do here is like highlight an Instagram post that we put up. Maybe talk about a podcast that I listen to. This section right here, again, section number 2, is going to be where we're starting to educate people and also entertain them as well. And you can see here, these are broken down into the different parts. So top part is we're going to tell a story. Section number 2, we're going to educate with tips and content. Section number 3, we're going to highlight our events, offers, and the community. So if we go back to the newsletter here, you can see here, cool things going on at Ripple and in Boston. We can put our event here. We can highlight what's going on within the city, and then highlight any type of deal that we have going on as well. And then sections 4 and 5. Section 4 is just going to be how can people learn more. So this is something that we copy and paste over every single week. We just clone this email and send it out. Follow us on Instagram. If you want to email us, do it here. If you'd rather text us, here's our phone number. Something very easy you can just copy and paste over. And then we've got a soft call to action here. Hey, if you're ready to get started with physical therapy, now's the best time. Here's the button to book a 15-minute discovery call. So, really these things at the bottom here, you can change them up just a little bit each week, but this is going to be just cloned over every single week. So really the only content that we're changing is going to be what's in these sections here. So let's dive into it. Let's call this the pre-Labor Day email. So this first section, again, we're going to tell a story here. What I like to do in these sections is always just talk about like what's relevant, what's going on, and if I had a really good conversation with somebody on a discovery call, a current patient, what are people dealing with right now that if I highlight it in a story, it's going to, again, educate and entertain them and continue to get them, to read the rest of this newsletter. So, and this is where you're going to like flex your copy muscle a little bit. Now, I'm not going to spend a ton of time here, but let's give, 2 or 3 paragraphs. So, can you believe summer's already coming to a close? We have a lot of parents in the clinic, and it's crazy to hear that soccer lacks, football and field hockey have already started up. I can't believe the Pats play in a few weekends. How was your summer? Summer's great, but I always love this time of year. End of summer means vacations and travel slow down, and I can get back into a health and wellness routine. Feel the same? Our clinic has been crazy busy these last few weeks with people saying the same thing. If you're in that boat, now's the perfect time to get back in and start on a PT plan. Click the button below to get started. So again, I'm telling a little bit of a story here. It's nothing crazy. We're just trying to relate to the reader. When the reader is reading this, we want them to think that I'm sending this exactly to them and only them, which, something like this would really do that. All right, so now let's talk about, here's what we found interesting this week. So we're going to highlight our own account here. So I'm going to go to Instagram. I'm going to pull up Ripple's Instagram account here, and let's just see something that they put together. So this looks good one. Sick of rolling your ankles, watch this. This is a funny video of Ethan that was put up. That looks good. Try these exercises. Okay, cool. So let's go back to here. So let's go sick of rolling your ankle. Let's say, if you haven't met Dr. Ethan yet, here's a hilarious intro to him. Ethan's a new PT that we have, so we'll do that. He's a huge runner and hiker and is a great resource for anyone doing the same. Check out his post on what you need to be doing to stop rolling your ankle. Alright, and then I'll copy this link. And I've got this little call to action to the post here. So I'm going to drop that link in here. And I'm going to say, check out the video. I'll apply that. And then let's just grab a little screenshot here. That looks good. So let's replace that. Alright, drop that right in there. That looks good. Okay, so we got our first section. Now we're going to educate the reader with some more tips and information. This is where my swipe file comes into play. So we've obviously highlighted something that we put together. I always like to talk about something somebody else wrote as well. So let's see what we got here. Let's open this in a new tab. So we got 3 easy habits that improved my health by Ali Abdaal. That one sounds good. Let's do this. And again, because it's in my swipe file, I already know it's good content. So I'm going to say 3 easy health habits. Creating change to your health routine means the new habits have to be easy. That's how you create them. Check out these 3 healthy habits you can introduce today. And then we'll do this. We're going to drop the YouTube. Check out the video. I'll do this. Let's see, I need not the ad. Let's get that. This looks good. Do this, we replace this. It's a funny screenshot now. All right, cool. So that one looks good. And again, you're going to want to make sure that all of these look the same. So I'm going to put this just a little bit bigger. I think that's probably just like a 12. And you can brand out all these colors to make it look like you. That all looks good. Okay, so now cool things going on at Ripple Inn in Boston. So here's an event that we want to highlight. So I'm going to go back to our Instagram page, see if we got anything going on. We do. We've got this injury prevention series at Epoch. So let's go back to this. I'm going to say injury prevention at Epoch. Epoch's a gym that we work super closely in the South End. If you live or are in the South End this weekend, you need to come hang out with us at the Hood's Best Gym. We'll be there putting on injury screens and supporting the community. Come by and say hi and get a workout in. Alright, we probably have like a landing page for this, but I'll just do this instead. I'll put this in blue, and then let's grab the screenshot. Alright, place that in there. Alright, cool. Highlight what's going on in the community. So again, this is something that I just like have a swipe file going as well. So I've got Boston Labor Day things to do in 2023. So this looks perfect. Say best things to do in Boston over Labor Day weekend. Can't get to the Cape for the long weekend. No worries. Boston is a blast during Labor Day weekend. I don't know why that gets so small. Here's the list of all the best things to do. I'll be at the Sox game if you need me. And then I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. Put this 12. Again, copy this. And then I'll usually just pull something from here. I knew the Red Sox were playing, so that's going to be an easy one for me. And then we'll edit this. Drop that in here. And then let's go find out what to do next weekend. Apply that. Again, I don't know why that's so small. I'll make that a little bit bigger. I'm going to change it to my brand color. Alright. Okay, and then the last thing, highlight the quarterly deal that we have going on. I don't know if we have a deal going on, so I might not do anything here just because we don't have anything going on. What we can do is like highlight a client spotlight, though. I do like that. So let's say find out how our Ripple community is thriving. And then I'll say, meet Ryan. He came in a few months ago and couldn't even think about deadlifting. And couldn't stand all day at his restaurant's kitchen. Never mind think about deadlifting his body weight 4 reps. Now he's doing both. Find out how. And I'll put that as the URL. And yep, it's perfect. Okay. I'm going to make this just this blue. And let's grab this. Perfect. Awesome. This looks good. I gotta grab an image for this. So let's these like BuzzFeedy websites are always so brutal. I'm just gonna grab this. This actually looks pretty good. Drop this in. Alright. And we got to learn more from us. We post all the time on Instagram. We keep it fun. Ready to get started with physical therapy. We'll make sure all these URLs work. So this would go to our discovery call page. So what I would do is I would go to Ripple. I would go here. This would go here. So that would be all fine. So otherwise, there's our newsletter. We obviously come up with a subject line and all of those things. So that takes 2 seconds. So you can see very easy. Loads of education here. Pretty entertaining as well. We're highlighting a testimonial. We're talking about an event we have going on. So, this is a really good one. I'm really happy with how this one came out. So this should show you guys how easy these are to put together. They're very repeatable. The swipe file is going to be the biggest thing, and you're doing the research for these things already. It's just making sure that when you come across something, you're stopping and understanding, how to organize those things, how to use them to your advantage. So once you develop that system, you're going to be in great shape. So if you guys have any questions on how to do any of this stuff, these are going to be the weekly emails that get put out. Again, these are super important. The reason these are so important is because it tees up when you actually go to run a sales email marketing campaign. Sales email marketing campaign is going to look a little different than this. It's going to be a little bit more text-based. It's going to be a little bit more persuasive. It's going to really ask somebody for a sale, ask somebody to purchase something. But those are not effective unless you're sending these weekly educational emails out on a weekly basis. So that's why this foundation has to be done. That's where, somebody like us, like Patch, we come in and we write those sales emails for you. And we've been running Patch for over a year now, that the clinics that are putting these weekly newsletters out sell more packages or whatever product that they want to sell. When they go to run a sales email campaign, if they're actually doing these weekly newsletters. So, if you are looking to run those sales email campaigns, hire somebody like us to write and run them for you, this needs to be done foundationally before you can do anything like that. So if you guys have any questions, if you ever want to hop on a call and talk more about how this stuff works, please go to our website, thepatchsystem.com, grab some time with me, and we can chat about all of this. So hopefully this was helpful, and I'll talk with you guys soon.